Okay, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do a quick presentation for them, and if you don't know how to do a presentation, then this is part of the training. Gotcha, thank you. Okay. And so I'm gonna do a brief presentation and show these individuals exactly who we are, what we do, and then also how they can get involved with us if they choose to do so. And then what we'll do is we'll take a small break, which will be like not even 4 or 5 minutes. And then they can either stay and we'll go straight into training. Is that fair for everyone?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, the company I want to share with each and every one of you is a company called GanoTools.